Two things are true. One, you have to create energy to use it. It has to be cultivated. And two, you have to trust yourself and know yourself above all. Those have been the two biggest lessons and realizations over these last 33 years. If you hear an echo, I'm in the bathroom. It's 95 degrees where we live currently, and our air conditioner, like the what do you call it? The screen thermostat is broken. Yet another reason why fuck electricity. It gives us so much, but one thing happens and click. So you have to, especially if you're in a situation where you are not in control, so to speak, on the surface of, whatever situation you're in. 9 times out of 10, not 9 times out of 10, unless you are chained to a chair, whether it's, literally or physically, because, health reasons, or if your chair is chained to a fucking radiator, like Black Snake Moan type shit, you are always able to be in control. But when people hear control, they think that means you have to do every single thing yourself. No, you don't. That's not a requirement of life. That's not a requirement of being completely in charge of your life. I used to think so, and that's why I struggled. That's one of the reasons I struggled, because I was raised around women who always had to do things themselves because the people around them were not reliable. And also they were taught to not carefully curate the people that they're around. They were taught that once somebody's in your life, you got to keep them forever. No, the fuck you don't. If they no longer serve your highest good and they are taking more than what they are giving, you absolutely have the right to drop them. And religion, emphasis on man-made religion and man-made morals make us feel as though we have to hold on to people forever and ever and ever, and no, you don't. When people are able to make choices that affect other people, they are also able to be dropped. There are, certain factors. And matter of fact, no, even still, because some people be like, well, I'm a caretaker and I'm this and I'm that. Okay, well, then don't listen to me, because I'm not a caretaker of anybody. And when I was, the people who were in my life actually gave me a lot until they didn't. And then I stopped taking care. I literally stopped and let them figure it out on their own. Oh my God, that's so mean. But you know what else is meaner? Allowing yourself to be put through for the sake of seeming like a good person. Because that's really the root of it. Partially, it is caring about somebody else. It really is. But there are I notice in many situations, there are two different sides to that. Part one is caring for someone and seeing them as hopeless and helpless. You actually do care about their well-being. It's actually three sides, really. The other side is shame and guilt. Shame and guilt, which we know the Catholic Church has been wielding shame and guilt for literal centuries. Probably thousands of years, honestly. So no, literal centuries. Now, whether that shame and guilt is yours is up to you to decide. It is not your job to save anyone. Helping, sure. But you are God over your life. You are not God over anybody else's life. People, we are all individually supposed to be God over our own life. So if someone is incapable, or even you, incapable of reaching out for help, why do you think you have to be the sole person to take care of someone and to help someone? Especially now, there are resources and nonprofits and shoot, even some people that will absolutely, pitch in, whether it's literally or financially or whatever else, to get you some assistance to lighten your load. And I've seen people fight against that. Like, I have to be the one to do it. I have to. Why? Guilt, shame, projection. Which one? Because if you cannot handle that load, you need help. You need to get help. Period. You need help. And I do not, once people know that and they fight against that, my empathy for them stops. It stops. It really does. It stops because some people feel like they also deserve to be in that situation. Because, oh, my parents took care of me. Fuck that. Fuck that. Especially if you're this is gonna sound real cold. No, it is cold. Especially if you're a caretaker. If that person is on his way out and on their way out anyway. Why are you allowing them to drain all of your energy by yourself? Sit with that, because I'm not going to go any further than that. And then the other side is projection. A lot of people are only good people because of that drug empathy that they pour onto. Well, if I was in this situation, I would want them to take care of me. Well, you're not. And they can't. I will want somebody to take care of me. No, karma's not real. And even in Hinduism, the way that the West has bastardized what karma actually is, karma literally, as we know it, does not exist. How we know karma to be is not what karma is in Hinduism. And I'm not Hindu, so I don't believe in karma. I already didn't. But doing more research and finding out that karma is a Hinduism belief, further, you might hear the dog bark, further solidified what I already knew. It's not real. Somebody is using that to guilt you into staying stuck. Because how are you going to feel guilty about something that is not within your power to keep up or control or make possible? You didn't make this person sick. Or you didn't make this person whatever. Not if you did. But why do you have the guilt of somebody that actually is the cause and the reasoning behind their shit? You need help, whether that is a hospice or, a hospital or something, a nurse. There's no guilt, because you've literally done all you can in your power. Once you've done that, there is no reason to feel guilt. Literally no reason. You're making that up. So you have to work on reprogramming your frame of mind so that you can feel differently, so that you can also thrive. Because suppose this person lived for another 5, 10, 15, hell, 20 years. What good is it going to do either one of y'all if y'all live a shitty life? If you are so drained, you're damn near as sick as they are. Whether that's out, drugs, alcohol, or an actual, a physical ailment or illness. What good is that going to do either one of you? You are basically trudging through life for no fucking reason. You have to create or cultivate energy in order for it to be able to use it. I didn't know what that meant, because for years I was always low energy, body hurting. It was nervous system and gut health. Literally was my problem. Nervous system, the people in my life, which of course affects your nervous system, and gut health, which can also be affected by your nervous system, because if you're always nervous, you may eat your emotions, you may eat your this or whatever. You may eat your feelings or eat your words, or you may not eat the best because you're sad or depressed, and that could have something to do with your nervous system or the people around you. Once I got rid of the people around me, that's when I started to realize I do feel better. And once I started to get rid of the people that drained me, I was like, wait a minute. After a while, after the guilt subsided, I was like, I do feel better. And I knew it. I knew it. It was me feeling guilty for it because I was raised around people who never let go of anybody. People either had to walk out of their lives or they had to do something so bad that they had a huge blowout and they never talked to each other again. I was like, I don't always want to get to that point. I'm tired of getting it to that point. I don't want to. I want to be able to have stable relationships. That, because I was about to say, even if it's only one or two people in my life, that, to go with that, I knew way too many people, family members and friends, that had way too many fucking friends. Why the fuck do you have 9 and 10, 11, 12 friends? Like legit people that you call your friend. I don't mean associates. I don't mean party people. Because that was a conversation on TikTok. We need to get used to demoting people or placing people in other categories where they belong. Not everybody is a friend. Some people literally are around because you like to hang with them. You like to, this, that, and the third. They are not, well, if you want to call them a friend, that's your choice. But some people, if your energy is going in 17 different directions, 20 instead of 17, 17 is the 17th of July. How much energy you gonna have for yourself? And then if your energy is going in 17 million different directions, you won't be able to pick out when it's not the best energy for you. Oh, the guys here to fix our air conditioner. That's why the dogs are barking. Yeah. Well, at least see what's wrong with it. Technology, man. Because it's like the HVAC system is working, but the screen cut off and it's leaking. So we're like, why is that happening? But I had to realize my energy was going 15 million different places before I got some. That's like, I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was a mother that was talking, and she was, I don't know if she was on TV or if it was a movie or like a radio show. I can't remember. It was so long ago, but I do remember her saying, so many mothers feel bad about eating first before they feed their kids, and you got it backwards. How the hell are you going to be able to take care of your children if you have no energy? You're not properly taking care of them. She was like, I had to realize that for myself and stop feeling like I was a bad mother because I had to make sure I had fuel in me. Even if it was a little something, because I guess she had a few kids or I don't know. And, before she got up out of the situation, it wasn't the best. She was like, how am I going to go? I'm the one that got to go to work. Yes, they are children. But they can have a better life if I have better energy. You are not a bad mother for making sure that you have food and nutrition in your body. You are actually showing your kids a greater amount of love. Same with caretakers or whatever. By pouring into you first before them. It's not a bad thing. It's actually even better thing. Because when you can think straight, even if you got to do like grits or oatmeal or something, or like maybe a banana or an apple or something, you can think better. You have better energy. You might be able to come up with better ideas or anything. Look on a brighter side, or hell, even have better energy with them. You deserve that too. You already did so much work, and this is why I lose the empathy, because people who are caretakers and mothers are so special. I definitely talk very, straightforward and blunt because I want people to get it. You are so special to have that patience, that love, that desire to care for someone, which is why you deserve to be able to take care of yourself too. And first, that's where my what you call it comes from. That's why I preach that. Because if you are actually caring for someone, one, no, you should do it out of guilt. So if you're doing it out of guilt, maybe think about that. If you're actually doing it out of love, well, you can do it out of guilt and love. Because, trauma and how we are raised, sometimes those two things can go together. Sometimes those two things can go together, especially if you had a dysfunctional, upbringing, or even if it wasn't outwardly dysfunctional, it could have been passive aggressively dysfunctional. But you shouldn't do anything out of shame or guilt. You should do it because you want to. Your energy will be better when you do it because you want to. You might even come up, like I said, with better ideas or better ways of doing things, or think, how can I lift this burden so I can be better to myself and other people? And why don't you think you deserve help with caring for this person? You are not, and I know why. It's patriarchy, and it's patriarchy and capitalism, making us feel like we are supposed to be the only ones taking care of people in our lives. I was looked at very strangely for saying that if I'm with somebody, I will not be unless I feel that, because once you involve feelings and emotions, that's different. I can absolutely care for someone and not desire to wipe their ass. You don't love somebody if you won't wipe their ass. Well, hey, because if I'm the only one that has to wipe their ass, that means they don't have any community around them, and that's a problem. You don't have any other family members. You don't have any other friends that wants to assist you with that. Why is it that if we are with somebody, we're the only two people that's supposed to exist in the world to each other? I never understood that. And talking to straight people, or talking to people who has that heterosexual mindset, and I mean heterosexual in the sense of like that extreme monogamy, mom, dad energy, 2.5 kids and a dog type shit. I can't talk to them about that. So I'm like, why? Where's your community? Because even with all my quote unquote selfishness, at the time, if my friends needed me to do something like that for them, I would. But I'm their friend, not their significant other. You see? When my friend at the time gave birth, I was there for her. I was at the hospital with her, damn near the entire time. Not her significant other, her friend, someone that was like her sister. So why isn't your community doing what communities do and rallying around each other? I was watching Desperate Housewives. Yes, that's a show. But I thought it was so beautiful how, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but this happens like towards the end of the show, like the last 2-3 seasons, I think. Because now that I've watched it all the way through like 3 times. So now I skip around to different parts of this, different seasons to watch my favorite like storylines. And Bree, here's a spoiler. Bree, after her husband went to jail, she started drinking again because she was already an alcoholic, but she started drinking again, and it was like really bad. And her business partner, Catherine, came in and was like, "You look a mess. Get your shit together, whatever." And no, I won't let you lay in bed. Here's some coffee. Here's some food. Here's some this. Here's some that. And so she's like, "When did this start?" And she told her that not because she was being cold, but because she knew that she deserved better than that. She deserved better than that. And she wanted to help her. She ended up moving in with her. She was like, I'm moving in. She said, you can't do that. She was like, the hell I can't. She said, I'm gonna help you with this. And you won't tell your husband. And that's why she felt shame, because she was like, oh, my husband's gonna think differently of me. She eventually told him, which I liked her husband's character, what he presented himself as. But you just have to watch the show. But she eventually told him, because it was a situation that was going to affect their relationship, and since she decided to stay married to him, that's me saying that, not her whole. Anyway, if you've seen the show, you know what I mean. It was a situation that she couldn't say, it was fine, it's fine, it's fine, because he was literally like, well, if this can't happen, then why can't this happen? And a simple, him telling her he didn't think anything differently of her. And matter of fact, he thought even more highly of the woman that was working with her partner, that was working in her business. He was like, thank you, for looking after her. I didn't, know all of that was going on. So, I he never apologized really for encroaching on their space. Like, they're business partners. They started this business without you. Why the fuck do you think just because you're married to the business owner, you think you have a right to what she started or what they started? You weren't there. Like, it's their business, not yours. But, it's Desperate Housewives. But yeah, he essentially was like, thank you for taking care of her when she needed you. And I wasn't there. Community. I see that when people feel like they have to be the only ones to take care of somebody, I notice they don't actually have community around them. And that person that they're taking care of also tends to not have community around them. That's a bad fucking combination, honey. A really bad combination. That's how I tried to tell the friend that had the baby. I was like, why are you acting as though she was a Capricorn? So if you know anything about them traditional ass motherfuckers. I love Capricorns, I really do. But sometimes they can be too hell bent on what is quote unquote traditional. Like, baby, you are suffering right now. You are drowning. You need your community. And it doesn't have to be your old community, because sometimes the motherfuckers need to go. It could be you need people around you, period, that have your best interests at heart, and vice versa. But I was like, why do you feel like your mother or your child's father had to be the only ones to watch this baby? Did we not care for this child when he was fresh out the womb? Bring that child here. If you need a break and the other part of the week he's with his father, bring that baby here. He wasn't a baby at the time, but that child was almost a teenager. But I'm like, bring that baby here. Like, why do you feel like y'all the only two that gotta watch him? You are stressed. If you need a few days to do whatever the fuck you want to do, bring that baby here. So a lot of the times the girls, and I say the girls, the girls are the cause of their own suffering. And it is a mindset that people have, that they're raised with, and that they need to fucking let go of. Let it go. It's not easy. You have to do a little bit of reprogramming, but let it go. Start the process, because it's not doing you any good. Matter of fact, it's making you suffer even more. I hear the air conditioning. Oh, glory day. I don't know if they're testing it or not, but I hear it. But it's not doing you any good. You're suffering, babes. You don't deserve to suffer. Stop thinking you deserve to suffer. You don't. I'm here to tell you, you do not deserve to suffer. You don't. Even if you've done some things, or even if you did some, you do not deserve to suffer. If you want to rectify the situation in your mind, that even further proves that you deserve community, a better mindset, better nervous system, and a better gut health, so that you can go out and do more good and create more beautiful things. If you need to rectify it in your mind, I need to atone for what I did. Okay, well, atone for what you did by treating yourself better, so that you can put better energy out into the world. Because your guilt is actually making the world more shitty. Because you're not adding anything to it. You're sulking and sitting in the bullshit. You're sitting in shit. And I don't speak on many things that I make observations about things I don't know anything about. Or I may be like, make a comment, but I don't go into detail about things I don't know anything about. I speak on this because I know it. I had to say to myself, self, why the fuck are you making yourself suffer? And who told you you had to do that? Who told you you can take control of your life? And I actually had a list of people and instances in my head throughout my childhood. I was like, there it is. And sometimes you can't remember. That's okay. It's not really worrying about the who and how. But why do you feel like you have to think that way? And I'm telling you, you don't. So once you figure those things out, you have to create the energy by saying that, because I talked about community and getting rid of people that don't serve you or that take your energy 50 different places. And superficially, they may be taking your mind off of what's actually going on with you, but you're not getting to the root. Now, you don't have to. It's your life. Some people are blissfully ignorant, and that's okay. It's your life. It's your reality. If it's too much to handle for you, don't do it. But if you are contemplating it, you want to do it. You want to do it. Do it. Press it. I kept trying to figure out where I got that from. I watched a compilation of Insecure, the TV show Insecure with Issa Rae, where her friend, what is her name? I know her name. Oh my god, Natasha. Natasha is her real name, the actress, and she was also a writer on Insecure. Amazing actress, hilarious. But her Kelly. Thank you, man. Thank you for your brain. Always claim that you have a really amazing memory. Kelly, the I think somebody said like all the times that Kelly made us laugh in seasons 1 through 5. It was like multiple different videos, but Issa Rae said press it during the last season. I was like, where did I get that from? And why did that stick in my head? She was like, press it. Anyway, do it. Do it. You're thinking about it. Do it. I'm here to be your peer pressure in the best way, because your life will get so much better afterwards. After you grieve the old you, or the you that didn't serve you, after you grieve those people in your life, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to grieve that. It's okay to feel bad and feel weird or shame or whatever, because it's like going through a detox. You gotta purge all of that shit, and it don't feel good. But after the fact, once you go through the process, our minds, and I'm not even talking about no deep dark shit. That's a cycle. You need no. Our minds can handle a lot. The human mind and body can handle a lot. So you purging things that no longer do you any well and don't do the people around you any well, it may hurt, but once you get over that hump, you see so much clearer. So for an example of how I cultivate the energy, the singer Mario said that, and it stood out to me because I've heard it, but with his example that they were talking about, it made real sense. Sometimes I need an example. Sometimes I can't just hear things. I need to hear an example of how that played out, even if it's like a short one. And I was like, I noticed all the times when sometimes I would feel like crap, or like during my period when I would have be low energy and I would have to like yoink myself out the bed to go get some water or to like stretch or sit in a hot bath or something. I had to be like literally snatch myself out the bed, because it's like if you don't, you will be laying there, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, okay, it's been a day or two. I don't like this anymore. My body needed it, but now I want to feel hydrated and rested. And right now I'm dry and crampy and irritated. I need to give myself a little something to eat. I need to hydrate, and I need to do something about these cramps. And if it's not a medication, it needs to be a tea or like a warm bath, or my ex, one of the things she was good for, she used to be in sports. She used to run track, and not just run track. She was a about to tell on myself. WNBA is all I'm gonna say. She told me about this trick where she would take a sock, like a tube sock or a, sock longer than a ankle sock, and put beans in it, tie it up, pop it in the microwave for like, I'll say to start 60 seconds because I don't remember exactly how long it was. I'll say it start 60 seconds. And it might smell like popcorn, but you put a towel down over your belly and you lay that sucker on your belly. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so freaking good. And I haven't done that in a while, but it feels good. Do that. But you have to cultivate and create the energy to be able to use it. Sometimes you have to force the energy to be able to push it in a direction that you want to go. The energy is there. You just have to decide what version of the energy you want to use. And if it's the energy that's going to do you some good, you have to force it. I sometimes I don't feel, I just feel kind of like, okay. But I know I want to feel a little bit happier and motivated. I will put on a playlist and get up and start dancing. Even if I'm not in the mood to dance, I will get up and start dancing and singing to like a happy playlist or my favorite 2000s baddie playlist. And I will get up and start dancing, and I will notice that slowly I will start to feel that good energy. And my spirit is lifted. Now, it took some practice for me because, child, sometimes before that didn't even work. It didn't. For a while, it didn't work. But working, nervous system, all this other type of stuff, repetition. Over time, reprogramming your brain and stuff, it started to work, and now it really does work. I'm like, okay, I want to get up and do whatever. Like, right now, sitting in the tub, I was like, okay, it's hot as hell. I could take a cool bath and a cool shower. All right, let me get up. And now, even before the guy came, I started to feel a lot better. That's it. So as simple as that was. That was me creating the energy. I could have just laid out. It's so hot. Oh my God, it's so hot. But I knew getting in this tub was going to cool me down and make me feel better. As simple as that. Or sometimes what I realized, remembering this, when I was younger and I wasn't feeling good, I would, because I grew up in a major city, I would go out and intentionally start to compliment people on the street. Now, this was 10, 15 years ago. I have to be careful with that now because the way people are falling in love with strangers that they see and have never interacted with is dangerous, so be careful. I would intentionally go out and say, good morning, how are you? Of course, I would dress cute, not just I would look nice. And you're like, oh my goodness. Well, not that. I would do that with women. Oh my God, I love your dress, or I love your hair, or anything. Good morning. How, especially people, it shocks people to hear, have a safe day. I used to say that when I worked as a cashier, and people would kind of do a double take and be like, thank you, you too. Because, they've never heard that before. Like people say, have a good one, have an interview, very passive. I'm like, have a safe day. You have no control over whether or not you have a safe day, but it shows that little bit of care. And it will kind of like change the way people will walk out the store. You have to create the energy to use it. Even as simple as a few words. Now, of course, use discernment because, the energy is shifting and changing, y'all. Some people you cannot do that with anymore because they will stalk you because they don't have that in their life, so they want to keep it by any means necessary. So be careful. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Yeah, I think I made my 2 points. Energy, cultivating it. Oh, trust yourself above all. That goes with the having people in your life that is not for you. Once you know yourself, because some people have changed their entire personalities based on the people that's in their life. Like there's someone I know who is not much of a mother. That's the truth. She's not much of a mother. But because every one of her friends in her life are more immature and ignorant than she has had to take the role of a mother. And that was not the role. I could tell that's not the role that she was meant to play. Not in a traditional sense, no. So by having these people in her life because they weren't the judgmental people that had judged her, she has taken on the role of a mother, and that's not supposed to be her. And you could tell she's not really happy. She's not, this, she's not that. There's none of them she can really lean on the way that they can lean on her. And it's telling. Not really knowing yourself can cost you a lot. I didn't realize how much I had changed my personality for the friend groups that I was in. Because it happened so slowly. It happened it happened over time. There were certain things that I enjoyed doing that I no longer did, or I didn't do around them, or whatever it was. And I didn't realize that until I stopped talking to them. Now, I was still always me. But there were certain little layers, little teeny tiny details that I was like, why did I let that go? Why did I stop doing that? And not everybody does that. But even some people that I've talked to that was like, I don't do that. I was like, there are certain things you stop doing. I'm thinking in my head. And the people that you were around had you thinking that it was because you no longer wanted to do it. But as soon as you stopped being around them, you went right back to it. You didn't even realize it. You actually like that thing. I don't know if it's a human thing, because the people don't, because it's not always an extreme situation where they shame you for it or anything. It's just you start to notice that they or you start to shape your personality and your interests around them. Maybe it's like a herd thing, you know how humans are animals and it's just something that's in us for survival. So it's not always a negative thing or what do you call it, bullying or peer pressure. It just like starts to happen over time. That's fascinating to me. And I never thought about that until I realized it. Until I noticed that. So when you go back to yourself and you start doing the things that you enjoy, and I've also seen this in somebody else I've watched on YouTube. She was all about her relationship, and once they started to just have their own lives, because he started to work more and she had more free time, she started to do a lot of the old things she used to do. And she would literally say, well, why did I stop doing this? I was like, because you got into a relationship and you kind of, not in a bad way because the relationship is healthy, but you just lost a little bit of yourself. So it's good to come back to yourself so you can fully know who you are. And when you know who you are, you better trust yourself. So you know when something's off, you know when you don't like something, you know when X, Y, and Z. Some people just know themselves. I was one of those people until, growing up, people started to chip away at that. Oh, the air is back on. My sister's singing. And that's another thing. When life starts to change in a better way, you start to notice certain things are different in people because their energy is much lighter. They're happier. They're more at peace, and it's so beautiful. Wow, I got in this tub exactly at 3 o'clock because I've been recording for 39 minutes, and it's 3:39. That's wild. It's just I like numbers, so I find that interesting. But your energy shifts. It changes when you have a solid foundation in who you are outside of people. That's powerful. And we don't need, I wonder if they've done studies on that. I think it might be just a herd thing. Out of survival in the past, our ancestors adopted and adapted to their surroundings for survival. So now we do it unintentionally. Because some people absolutely do it knowing that they want to fit in. And I think I did that in my youth. But I was still myself as a weirdo and all this, that, and the third. But life, I don't know. Life happening, that took me away from the things that I enjoy doing, because I no longer had that zest for it. Sometimes you do change and you don't have the same interests anymore, but sometimes certain things happen that kind of pull you away from that, and naturally, either intentionally you have to find your way back, or naturally you will. I had to find my way back. I was like, I feel like something's missing. And that's what it was. It was just who I was missing, because I knew it was a part of me. Not because I'm not being true to myself if I don't like the old things I used to like. No. I could tell. Part of me was missing. I could feel it. And I thought it was something new I had to find. No, I had to be like, I still like this thing. I still like this music. I don't actually like this music. I don't actually like this artist. I don't actually like this. I do like this. No, I don't like this anymore. Why did I try that? Like, oh, I miss doing this thing. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to do it again. It literally was like that process. So there's certain things that I have and I did that with my friends too. I started the process before I cut them off. Because there were certain things that they would talk about and listen to, and certain artists that they liked that we did like together. That the less time I spent around them and I spent with myself, the more I realized I don't actually give a fuck about that. I actually don't like that. So at the end of the day, we ended up having that much in common, because it took me adapting, and I realized they did it too. Well, they kind of did it with me, and also some of the other people that they were around. Because I noticed that as soon as they would have a new person come in their life, their entire personality would change. Or bits and pieces of them would change. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, you do that with every new person. I'm gonna let you, I ain't gonna bring up, but you do that with every new person. I noticed that. So every 2 to 5 business years, you have a new person. Every year or every 3 years, you have a new personality or a new interest that you never had because of the new people that's in your life. And not because you just find it interesting, but you think these people are cool and you want to be like them. Because you probably in your head, you think that there's something wrong with you because somebody made you feel like it was. Because I'm all for, let me try this thing or try this new thing or whatever else, because, learn new things from new people. But do you actually like it? Or did you adopt it because they liked it? Not everybody wants to go that deep. Some people just want to, sit with that and just enjoy that part of themselves. That's okay. That's just an observation that I made. I'm going to have to use that as a soundbite. The guy CP, comedian, that was on All Death Digital when he was joining on somebody. He was like, I don't know. I'm just saying it's an observation. It was his delivery. Because he said it so serious. He was saying the most silly shit, but said it in the most serious tone, like he was a therapist or something. And it made it so much funnier. Like, why are you saying this? I'm about to use that as a soundbite. It's just an observation. Right. Knowing yourself and trusting yourself. Nobody can shake your foundation. Nobody can, especially when you always make time for yourself, nobody can throw you off or try to tell you about yourself when you know yourself. Because I had an ex. That's why they're an ex. Who was trying to tell me about myself. You do this because of this. I'm like, no, I don't. They thought. They had projected onto me an idea that they had about me. Because they saw me as a victim. Because they needed a victim. I know I don't. That's not why I do that. I know exactly why I do it. And I get to give you a detail. I would never go into detail because if we're arguing, I don't owe you an explanation for something that doesn't involve you. I don't. But they would always, and they were like, you think you could read me, but I can't read you? I was like, because you can't. Because I know myself. I know why I'm an asshole. I know why I'm selfish. I know why I used to lash out. I know why this. I know why that. You don't know these things about yourself, or you won't acknowledge them. There's a difference. And some of the things that you find flaws, I actually like about myself. I like being an asshole because I'm very sweet to those who deserve it. I enjoy being an asshole. I think that's my Aries rising. I enjoy inside here. I enjoy being an asshole. I love it. It gives me a rush. Not really a rush, but it just, especially, I'm a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius tend to bully the bullies. So when it's justified, I am sitting on a high horse, a very high horse. The horse is tall and it's red and it's made out of glass that's on fire. Which is why it was always funny to me when I would do those things, and people who knew the sweet side of me would see me do these things towards people who deserve it. And they was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I had to think, "Oh, you don't deserve that side of me, so you haven't seen it." Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I kind of like scared you there. And that's also why people tend to underestimate you when you're really sweet, because they haven't done anything to deserve. And that's why it's always funny to me. People who are like, "Oh, you're just an asshole to just anybody." I'm like, why are you so concerned with somebody being an asshole if you don't deserve it? If they say they're only an asshole to people who deserve it, why are you bothered? Because you know low key you be an asshole. You just don't want to stand on it. Oops. Anyway, I'm about to get out this tub. When you know yourself, and that means it's as simple as knowing what you like and what you don't like. Sometimes you may have to take a break from the people that you know, spouse, hell, even children. You may need to go on a mini vacation and friends and go back to yourself so you can figure out what it is that you still like, what you don't like, what you never liked, and what you need more of. People go on couples vacations and couple retreats, but they don't go on self retreats. Because there are a lot of people living lives that they aren't actually happy with. They just told themselves, this is what I'm supposed to do and this is what I'm supposed to have. And they either are miserable and are miserable to other people, or they have deluded themselves so much because they believe that they're supposed to have that life. They convince themselves that they like it. Now, if that's something that you want, great. Great. Because I was about to give spoiler to the TV show Sirens, and not the one about the actual mermaid, the one that just came out on Hulu, I think. That's about the sisters. Spoiler alert starts now. Note that to skip the spoiler, go to 49 minutes and 50 seconds. That was a storyline about the younger sister. She had deluded herself into thinking that she wasn't the person that she used to be, but that's what she needed. That's what she needed. Because they had their childhood was good. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, I would have deluded myself too, but that she was actually happy. Happiness is a feeling. So she was actually happy. And her sister didn't like that. Her sister hated that because her sister wasn't happy and she wouldn't allow herself to be having a trauma. She thought she had to suffer and she wanted her sister to suffer with her. Selfish bitch. And a younger sister too. Like she really thought she was entitled to her suffering with her because of what she did for her, which is so crazy. I'm gonna make that video about sirens. I keep forgetting to put the S on. Black people are so funny. We will put S's on shit that don't have S's on it, but the shit that actually have S's on it, and I know there's a reason why. The shit that don't have S's on it, we'll take it off completely. Somebody made a TikTok video about why that is, and it's like a whole linguistic thing, something like that. I can't remember. If I find it, I'll talk about it. I will, say what it is. But yeah, she thought to just be. In Sirens, her sister, because her sister's life was a mess, she came to her younger sister's rescue as a saving grace, but she doesn't think that it was a saving grace. Her life was a mess, and she thinks that she came back to save her sister because her sister was the one that was the only mess. No, she said it herself and didn't even pick up on it, that her life was a mess until she came to be a mother to her sister. Okay, spoiler over. Yeah. But no, if the person is actually happy, I'm not gonna be mad at it, especially if they had like a iffy childhood or something like that, or just in general, that's their life choice and their decision. I just can't be around delusion, and I am a delusional person in the sense of getting what I want. I'm very optimistic naturally because I always end up getting what I want. So it looks delusional to people who don't live like that. And I think that's mostly because it comes with an attitude that I don't like. When it's not actual, when it's not pure, and when it's not I have to say healthy, but it's not up to me to say whether or not it's healthy. If it's not, it's real to them, but it's not real to other people. If it's not real to me, I can't be around it because there's usually a change and a shift in attitude that comes off, and it makes me not like those people because it seems fake. Like outside looking in, you can tell, oh, this is fake, but the person in it can't tell that it's not fake. It's like AI and virtual reality. The person inside of the machine can't tell that it's not real, but the people looking at the machine, the person hooked up to the machine is like, this is fake as shit. And that's usually when I grow apart from those people because I'm like, this isn't real. But if that's what you need, more power to you. I won't burst your bubble. I won't burst your bubble. I'll let you enjoy life because you deserve it. I just won't be a part of it. So anyway, I'm getting out the shower. The air is on. I love that. And there's some synchronicities in there. Like the 17th, I kept seeing 717 and 711, 71, all the 17, all that. And the day that I decided to not focus on what was going wrong is the day that things started to go right. Or the moment. Because I haven't been not focusing on, and yes, I said that. I've been not focusing on things going wrong all week. But I decided to look at my life from a different perspective today. Or to start my day off differently. Bath, shower. And I was actually, not considering, I was actually going to do my makeup in the heat. So I'm like, I do not like a full glam face, but literally like eyebrows, a little bit of eyeliner, maybe some lipstick. Because I do like glamming. I was like, I miss that. And no heat is going to stop me from doing what I enjoy doing. And I can do it in the cool. So, yeah, no. I'm kicking my feet. Stay hydrated, get some fruit.